obviously fear sells. Like I was just explaining it before. Listen, they want you to keep tuning in to their station, right? They want you to go, oh my God, what's going on? Let me turn on ABC, let me turn on CNN, Fox News, all those things. Let me turn it on.
All right, welcome to the behind the scenes of the Connecticut Chronicles. This is the Chronicles episode 1 with guest Josh Lewis Growth. We talk about how to overcome fear and a lot of positive times. I give a kind of a look into some of the people that you've seen in the vlog, so people can know more about the person, what they're doing to change the world, change themselves, and become a better version. So well, hopefully we'll have Comeback Cam on, who I just bought some Robinhood because of him. Guys, if there's any other app out there, and I did a whole video on stock trading, you can try anyone. Robinhood has the coolest story. Guys pitched on Shark Tank, got laughed at, got thrown off, and now the app's worth $3 billion, and it's the best interface. So just like I'm trying to launch Bread Earners, which me and my business partner Mod, which maybe I'll have him on one of these days, and we'll do an interview as well. We believe in user interface and usability, and all my softwares that I'm going to go in the future, I want them to be just very easy to use, just like Robinhood is. So if you're not investing in the stock market, I mean, I do believe personally it's going to drop a lot more, so you have time. You don't have to rush and buy right now. But I do believe, hey, get a few free shares. It helps donate the cause, keeps this channel running with time, keeps me with all my crazy new money. I have to figure out new ways to make money. But luckily, I was born to be an entrepreneur. I'm born for such a time like this. And obviously, I want to help as many people make money, which you'll see the series of videos coming forward. But without further ado, this is episode 1 with guest Josh Lewis Growth on Chronicles, episode 1, How to Overcome Fear. So just sit back, relax, and listen, and I hope you'll enjoy. And we'll obviously Connecticut Chronicles is premiering, I think, every Sunday night at 9 p.m. Eastern time. So turn on the little bell, and you can see it right here. Episode 2 is coming out this week, 3, 4, 5, and we're just going to document a positive way to get out of this all together and come together as one to kind of just be a positive light in a dark time like we are in now. So thank you so much for listening, your support, and please click that like button and share this video with someone if you find it informative. All right, it's Jeff J here to make your day on the Chronicles. So anybody following this channel, thank you. Like, click, subscribe. I'm going to do a series of interviews kind of differently, just to shed some positivity with everything going on in the world. My own brother, I can't even be near because of certain reels. So we have him on. People know him as Josh Lewis Growth. He's been putting out many motivational, inspiring videos right now to this time. There's one, How to Cure Panic. Check him out on Josh Lewis Growth on YouTube. It's great. I'm wearing my Waymo hat by my boy Mike C-Rock, who sent it to me. Nice stuff. I'll put the link in the description below. But I really just want to talk about the positivities we can make in such a dark time like this. One of my influential characters, I guess, not characters, role models, Martin Luther King Jr. And in dark times, he made the light out of it. And that's all I and Josh Lewis Growth want to do to you today. So thank you guys for listening and watching. And Josh Lewis Growth, I gave you a little introduction, but can you give me an introduction, 60, 90 seconds about yourself?
Yeah, my name is Josh Lewis. I'm a YouTuber. I create motivational and inspirational videos on YouTube. You search Josh Lewis Growth. Basically because I learned a long time ago that growth, personal growth, self-development is the cure to all things. So in business, if you have something that's being destructive, if you have a relationship, it's simply because you've gotten to a limitation and you need to burst through that limitation, and you need to figure out what you're doing in your life that will be able to help you tackle more challenging situations. Because as we've learned with everything that's going on with the coronavirus, that life will always be challenging. There's always going to be a new challenge. And in order to get over those challenges, you need to create a greater version of yourself so you can take on more significant challenges, so you can become eventually more successful to help more people out. So yeah, that's basically everything that I live and breathe every single day. My motto is, you have no idea how powerful you are. I got bracelets that say it, that remind me of it every single day, that I've given you to as well. and other people who subscribe to my channel. It's a personal belief that I believe helps change people, because it's that subtle implication that you have power inside you and you can bring it out. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. So I can't, when's the last time I've seen you? I can't remember the last time I've actually seen you physically.
Yeah, so just when it was getting serious, actually, it's going to be in episode 2 of the Connecticut Chronicles, which we might be changing the name to get the algorithm a little better. But yeah, I stopped by your office and I filmed you. It's actually in the end of the episode. You guys can see Josh Lewis Growth in it. And I asked him, hey, what do you think of all this? And you'll hear that answer in episode 2, which is coming out, I think, on Sunday. They're going to come out, it looks like. But I think that was the last time. You remember I sat there, I came in with I kind of just knocked on the door and came in?
Yes, I do remember that. Yeah, you
remember
did.
Why? Do you remember what I said, why I came in?
You offered food.
Oh yeah, I did offer food. Yeah, actually, where I work, Anthony Jacks, which are actually giving out free meals to the staff tomorrow. Barry is one of the guys. Great company.
Awesome.
Just see him in there. Just really, it's funny. So, and we'll talk about this in a little bit. But tough times call for tough measures. But as I was realizing the seriousness, and there's no joke. Although we're going to talk about positive, this is a very serious thing. It's a pandemic. It's worldwide. I've connected with more people, telemarketers on the call when they're trying to sell me something. Hey man, how you doing with this virus? And let them into my channel, my YouTube subscribers. That's what I've done. You guys will see it in the next episode coming forward. I kind of put more of that out there. But the cool thing is that I stopped over, dude, because I really thought like we might be locked down. Like, granted, we're not locked down, but I thought it could get to the seriousness, and it could, where they tell nobody's in the streets. They could put in medical martial law and have everybody have to stay in. Like it looked to me like it could get that serious.
Yeah.
That's why I stopped down. That's why I said, dude, I know this thing's pretty serious. Like at first, well, let me ask you this. When I first heard about it with China, I heard the coronavirus. Actually, I'll even do one better. You did a live video about the coronavirus, and I jumped into it on Instagram Live. And I remember thinking, why is he even doing this? And it was already real by then. But when it was in China, I didn't even think the thing was real. Did you think it was real from the start?
Well, I thought it was real, but as certain viruses have come out of China or come out from different parts of the world, we have been conditioned to believe that they're really nothing, right? That it's something that's like, hey, if it's SARS, if it's MERS, it will affect a certain group amount of people, but there will be a vaccine quickly created and it'll be eradicated. And the certain amount of people that it's affected is just a very small part of our population. And while that small part of the population is tending to, hesitate or not do anything, then what happens is it really doesn't affect us. So when I first heard about it, that's what I thought. I was like, oh, here comes another one. And I really didn't take it that seriously, because it seemed at first the media wasn't taking it too seriously. It was just more of like that, oh yeah, this is this new virus that's coming from, China. And so I didn't take it too seriously. So I thought, in my ignorance, I thought, hey, it's really not that big of a deal. And I went live on Instagram when it started to become a bigger deal, and that's when you jumped in. And then I went live on Facebook. It's on my Facebook, where I was basically like, look, this is how many people die of different, the polio virus and all those different things. This isn't really that big of a deal, because I wasn't really aware of what the impact was and how basically how this virus spreads. And then I turned on Joe Rogan. Do you watch Joe Rogan at all?
I watched that one episode. Maybe we'll link it here below. Joe Rogan, well, yeah, you talked about it. You're the one who sent it to me. So
yeah, Joe Rogan with Michael Alstrom, I believe is how you say his name. And he created a very realistic picture of the virus. And he did it without injecting fear. He spoke logically, and he spoke with information. And he said a great quote, which was, I don't want to scare you out of your wits, I want to scare you into your wits. And what that means, he means like, be smart about how you're going to handle this. And after listening to it, I was like, well, I think I need to take this a little bit more seriously. And then just within weeks, the shutdown of the whole entire world started to commence from different places closing down, and now, you know, the United States of America taking every single precaution that we can to get people to, you know, engage in social distancing or disengage in social distancing, whichever way you want to look at it. And then, you know, get us to be more safe, you know? So I really didn't think it was that serious, but within a matter of moments, it seems, all of a sudden it flipped the switch. And now you and I are doing, you know, a video where you're at home and I'm at home because we can't be together. We're trying to do the safe thing, you know?
Yeah, which is good. And people are going to see the episode 2, and you'll see Josh right in there. It's funny, the timetable is that we have my buddy Comeback Cam's texting me right now. He's a stock guy also in the Comeback Chronicles. Kid got rid of, I don't know if he really wants me to say it, but got rid of a lot of demons and is all focused on stocks and being a day trader right now in this time. So it's actually pretty cool to watch.
Perfect opportunity.
Yeah, really. Kind of took a thing. And we're going to talk about positives and opportunities in a second. But what I was saying was, I forgot what I was saying there because I got distracted by one thing. You were saying, what was the last thing you said? The facts?
Yeah, basically how everything turned so quickly to the point where now you're there.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say. If you watch episode 1 of the Connecticut Chronicles, you'll see that I'm at your engagement party. That's where I figured to start it off, where we were normal. We weren't all sitting 6 feet away. This was it was 10 days prior to the shutdown, when everybody's 6 feet apart and everything, and it got that serious that fast. And it almost made me think, man, anything could happen that quickly in a blink of an eye. And for a good reason, I think. You know, once you kind of, as I watch some stuff, and we'll link some stuff. I know Patrick Ben-David's one guy who does it. I don't know if you've seen any of his videos. He just sets out just the rules. All right, these many people are dying. This is this, and it's almost like as the as there's a world count. And I don't mean to like make light of people dying, but as we're canceling the Olympics, probably most likely that's coming up. I feel like the way they train the net, it's almost sad. They're doing it like cases and deaths by country and who's more. And we just became second to China to have the most cases because we have the most people. Really, is really kind of go from, but I almost feel like it's a medal count, like, and you're kind of rooting not to be in that level. And it's almost like crazy because we've never seen anything like this, you know?
Yeah, it's affecting everything. We've never seen anything like this to the point where it's shutting down our economy, to the point where the stocks just went so fast, you know?
Well, that's another thing too. I talked to a guy, which I sent him your video on how to cure a pandemic, because he said kind of what you did. 1918, we weren't born, but there was the flu, the 1918 flu, right? I guess is what it was. And it was a big thing. And he said, well, we've always been through pandemics like this. There's always been something. This is just something that hit us all worldly. And that's the thing. For our lifetime, I don't think we have. And the fact that it's hit the whole world, like, that's the difference. But the one thing I'll say is, as much as it has, you're having Democrats and Republicans get together, sign bills in, kind of get past their stuff, whether it's Trump is giving Andrew Cuomo of New York good, like, because they're all for the humanity of civilization. So, like, it's weird when it going to save lives. This is the biggest message, anything. People really care. Like the guy in India on the thing, no, how are you there with the virus? It's an instant connection of a silent enemy that nobody can compete with, but everybody, like the fact that people do elbow bumps or whatever they're doing or staying away shows that they care, you know?
Yeah, you know, it's pretty crazy because if you watch like in different, you know, alien movies, there always comes to that point of fruition where like it's sci-fi, but everybody's looking up at the sky at the aliens attacking, and all the countries are coming together because now we all have the same enemy, so that all unites us. So, and it's so funny because it always seemed like kind of corny. You'd see like different parts of China and Australia and everybody coming together, waving flags, and you're like, yeah, okay, whatever. But with that said, this is almost done something very similar. Like you said, it's a connection point where it's like the thing that Simon Sinek says, where if you find somebody from Connecticut that you know that's from Connecticut and they live right next to you, like that's not a big deal. But if you were to go to Europe and all of a sudden you meet somebody from Connecticut, it's an instant like, oh, you're from Connecticut, I'm from Connecticut too. It's like, oh, well, there's a bond right there.
Yeah, Mike T-Rock, the guy who has this hat, What Are You Made Of hat, which I'll put down, his wife does J-Rock designs and design the stuff, might even be doing the Inspire the Zoe's gear that I was telling you about. But he told me, oh, I used to be in Hartford. Me and him are there. He's in, I think, Atlanta right now. And it was this connection. No, I had a place in Manchester. I'm like, I own in Manchester, right? I think Simon Sinek said that, right? It connects you.
Right. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So I think you're right. I think that's one of the positives, that it has, united us. And some people it hasn't. Some people, I mean, I'm promoting my videos to different points because I know that they can help in different avenues through the news and stuff like that. And there are some people that I was just commenting with someone, said, we're all in this together. We're all human beings. We're all fighting for everyone's health. And then I was surprised, like, you got 3 or 4 negative comments, talking about the red and the blue, that they're trying to destroy the whole entire world. And there's still some people who are out there that are.
What do you mean the red and blue trying to destroy the world? What does that mean?
So if you voted red or if you voted blue, you know what I mean? Like if you're Democrat or Republican, yeah. So, there's one thing I learned from Tony Robbins too, is whenever a crisis happens, people's automatic personality comes out. So angry people get angry, sad people get sad, frustrated people will get frustrated. Happy people, positive people will find ways to be positive. So whatever your main force of emotion when situations like this happen, it causes to bring out who you truly and really are. So if you're a leader, like if you're a leader for a business, did you see the thing that Mark Cuban just recently said?
No, I did not. And I love
Mark. Yeah, Mark Cuban said, this crisis will define brands and how they react for years to come. Yeah. So, and what he means by that, and I'm 100% believer in that too as well, is if you have a brand, if you have a company, and you have a brand, you've got a company, and all of a sudden, this whole crisis happens, how do you react to the situation? Do you react in fear? Do you react in turmoil? Do you react by retracting? Do you fire your people? Do you use fear as a motivator? There's some bosses, there's some leaders who will take advantage of the situation because it's fearful and people are afraid to lose their jobs. So they'll use that as an advantage to make people say, well, listen, if you want to keep your job, you're lucky to have a job. If you have this job, then you should be doing this and you should be doing that, because they want to take fear and they want to use it as a motivator or a primary motivator. And what companies are using? Are they using fear as a motivator? Are they using inspiration? Are they using, the evolution of what is going to come in the next few years and how they're going to adapt to it? And I find that to be very, very true. And I think definitely leadership plays a huge role in all the businesses and all the companies, because this is something in the past 50 years, we haven't seen something this significant. So who's going to arise to the occasion to actually be successful and to adapt to the situation? That quote of, it's not the strongest who survive, but it's those most willing to adapt to change, is so true, especially in a time like this right now, because you've got something that is affecting.
I just heard that quote. Where did you hear that quote?
It's an old quote, but it's very true. That's what they say. Like, evolution isn't about the strongest who survive.
Or the smartest.
Yeah, it's not about the strongest. It's who's ever willing to adapt to change, because that's what's happening. There's so much change that's going on. So with that said, what are businesses doing that are going to go change right now? I'm in the restaurant industry, and there's one of my friends works for a restaurant that never did takeout. They never did takeout because they didn't believe in takeout. I'm not going to say. I'll tell you later off.
Well, I can't say. Can't give him a plug?
I mean, I could give him a plug.
Because my whole thing is get every restaurant to have more money,
Right. Well, I guess their CEO didn't believe in takeout because it disintegrated the quality of food. And when times are great, that's awesome. But when times are bad, what are you going to do? You gotta do something to sustain your business. Otherwise, you lock the doors. So you got to do different things. And all of a sudden now they're adapting to change. The restaurant that I work for has been doing takeout for a very long time. And now they're double downing on it. They're like, okay, this is how, if we're doing it this way, then we're going to execute it this way. And we're going to execute it faster and better than the rest of our competition. And it's truly in times of crisis when you find.
Has your takeout business, has it gone doubled? Have you doubled it in that time, or has it kind of died off a little bit?
What, takeout sales?
Yeah.
And when everything first started happening, it was very small, but every single day it keeps growing. And I think that has to do with the confidence of the consumer. At first, that they were afraid whether they could go out or not, or the confidence in whether they're going to get. You know, if you buy a product from somebody and you're able to get it immediately right away, you get a good quality product, then chances are you're going to go get that product again. So a lot of it is being able to adapt to that quick change. So if you're executing at a high level when it comes to, you know, shipping something, and now all of a sudden it comes to pickup, you got to execute better now on pickup. You were doing only shipping, now you got to do pickup. So you got to figure out how do I execute quick on that? How do I get better at that? How do I personalize the situation? All while staying within the realms of social distancing, right? So I can't have contact with this person. So if somebody's coming to pick something up, how do I make them stay in their car? How do I make them, you know, feel safe when they're coming to my establishment? So companies are challenged. They really are, because the way everything is.
Yeah, exactly. They have to adapt.
They have to. Yeah, absolutely. So the way everything is right now is you find that who the true leaders are, who the ones who are adapting to change, and who are the ones who don't use fear as the motivator. If you use fear as a motivator, you're not a leader. You're just you're a dictator. And it's really funny to see the I don't want to say funny, but it's really interesting to see the change and the quality of the leaders that rise in these situations.
So with that said, I'm going to say this, because I'm an entrepreneur through and through, man. You know, I have no source of income of whatever I generate, a lot through coaching sessions. So thank you for the people who've helped me to help them generate money online and stuff, because I believe in my ability to recognize the strengths in people and be able to use all the outlets I've used to help people make more money. That's my passion, you know?
Right.
I had the Make More Money podcast. That's why every channel I do now is to make money in times. Actually, after we're done here, I'm going to record one that'll probably be up by that time or a little bit later. And if you're unemployed, do these 3 things, right? And it'll make it a little better, sitting home, hopefully find it better. Because my whole mission is basically this: inspire others always, right? And Grant Cardone, my boy Grant, our boy Grant over here, and we'll talk about that in a second, but he's taking a lot of flack unjustly, I believe. And I'll explain that for businesses. But he said this. He said it's in one of his videos for his boot camp, which is the best boot camp I've been to for business-wise. If anybody wants to go, I think they're going to do a virtual this year as they adapt as well. But he said you can only motivate people 2 ways. You can use fear, you can scare them, or you can inspire them. And I always thought of that. And even in a sales process, what I've noticed, Josh, is when I sell someone windows, right, for JC Tenati, great company, you'll see it in the Connecticut Chronicles, I noticed you can do the fear and sell people with fear all the time. Fear of loss. There's a lot of health companies making money with fear. We have that one mineral that will protect you, and they're selling that way, okay? And it's true. I'm like, what's that vitamin? I want that vitamin. I'm taking my vitamins more than I ever took them before, okay? So it's not working. You want to be good. But when you inspire someone, I inspire people, nah, you're going to love our windows, our installers, this, that. For me, it feels way better of a feeling, right? So I don't want to fear anybody and say, oh, my goodness, if you don't take this, that. They both work, though. But I think inspiring is just such a much more genuine feel of that, you know? So
I would agree. Let me ask you this. Yeah. Do you believe that inspiration could succeed without fear?
Yeah, I do, actually. I really do, because I've done it before, you know? I think you can't. I think a lot of times, so many people, this is it. So many people are so fearful to make a decision because they don't trust themselves that sometimes, as long as you use it, this is why there's the unpsychological way to sell, because people do it psychologically do it. But if you just push someone, if you know ethically that you're doing the right decision for them and you push them in the right, whatever it is, to get past that fear, which is what, as a good coach or whatever counseling you do, then I think you're doing a good service. When you're doing it in the wrong way just to close somebody, then it's wrong. But I do think you can inspire them enough to get them there, and then use something like, hey, you know, you're not gonna live with it or something like that. You're not gonna die with all your money. You know what I mean? Because that's almost like fear. Like, you're right, because people hold on so tight because they don't. A lot of it, I believe, is they're not educated with their money, which I want to change my channel. So they don't know where they're really to spend it. They don't know it's the best decision. So when I know that, hey, we're the best decision because you're not going to spend X amount down the road. We're here 35 years. We're going to be with you. I can then be like this because I feel passionate about that. You see? Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I would tend to agree. I think it's also necessary to comment and say that, without fear, without us as human beings actually having fear inside of us, healing can't survive. It's kind of what I'm talking about in my newest video that I'm editing right now. And that is like, it's that quote from August Burns Redler: pain must exist in order for healing to survive. And it's true. Either one can't survive without the other. So there's kind of a yin and a yang to life, where it's the pain that is a motivator, because human beings don't want to die. We fight death. So we will do
the whole
more.
World is right now. The whole world's fighting death, which I think is so crazy. Even the Christians and like what I believe in Jesus still doesn't want to die. Last night, not to really cut you off here, but go ahead, finish what you're saying, actually, because I've done this.
No, I was just saying that human beings will do more to fight from death. They'll do more, meaning they'll take more action to stay away from pain. They will to go towards something that is inspirational or motivational. So acknowledging fear, I think, is always necessary. You have to acknowledge it, because if you hold down your fear, you pretend your fear doesn't exist, it will eventually come to the surface. It's eventually going to come all out. You need to acknowledge it, and you need to understand what it is, and then most importantly, understand how to defeat it and how to get rid of it. Because once you can do that, then not only can you solve it for yourself, but you can help others solve it. And then you can help other people out. And I think that's truly inspirational. At least it is for me. Because I know once I figure out how to do something, I immediately want to teach somebody else how to do it. So if it added value to my life, I want to add value to someone else's life too as well.
No, which is what you've done for me, honestly. If anybody asks me, Jeff, how did you get where you are? I always tell them it was my brother who I finally started listening to, who was way ahead of the curve. And then Grant Cardone obviously got me motivated too in a different way. But it's true. So, well, how is the one person? There's a lot of fear for my Aunt Nancy, right? I'll give her a shout out. She's watching the news all the time. She's probably been the biggest worry war, and I love her to death. Makes the best food. She's amazing. But she's always worrying. What's one way to solve that fear that she has?
So the antidote to fear is knowledge. So whatever you're afraid about, it's only because of one reason. You simply don't have enough information. So if you are afraid of something in life, the first step is to get as much knowledge about that topic that you possibly can get. So let's say it's the coronavirus. Find out, do your research, start doing research, because human beings are afraid of the unknown. We're afraid of uncertainty. So if you're afraid of all those things, you can gain a sense of confidence, which is really a sense of certainty, by the more you learn from a situation. So if you learn that, hey, listen, let's say you're afraid to jump out of an airplane, right? But if you learn everything about it, you're still going to be fearful about it. But hey, I'm going to get the best skydiving company. I'm going to get the best instructor. I'm going to make sure the plane is safe. I'm going to do all those different things. Those things are going to make you feel a little bit more certain. Now, jumping out of an airplane is still pretty scary, but you're going to be able to adapt a feeling of certainty towards the situation. So then you can go, hey, I feel more certain now. I can kind of eradicate the fear. And I think that's a really important message for us, because we make decisions better when we're confident than we do when we're fearful. So if you watch somebody, whether it's a leader, whether it's somebody who's in a position of authority, and they're afraid and they're making a decision, that decision won't be as impactful for a greater cause if they're not confident about it and if they didn't get information about it. You watch what presidents do, what politicians do, even if you agree with them or they don't, they usually take a moment to to talk to their cabinet, to talk to their board. And the reasoning is they're trying to get as much information as possible. So if you want to get rid of your fear, get as much information about the topic as possible. The second thing is take action. Don't be hesitant, whether it is whatever. Even with coronavirus, it's a little hard to take action, but to take action to make sure it adapts into your psychology. So when you're actually physically doing something, it makes your brain go, okay, I'm actually moving towards this situation, so I feel a little bit more confident regarding it. So whether it's you're cleaning something, or whether it's you're washing your hands again or something like that, you're doing it for the sole purpose to gain confidence in that scenario. But if you're not doing it, if you're doing it out of fear and you keep on doing those things over and over again, you're just going to repeat that same process. So I think it's really important to gain knowledge and take action to be able to eradicate the fear.
So you just taught me something right here again, and no matter how old I get, I can always lose from Josh Lewis Growth. And the reason why is because I did it backwards. I used to attack fear. I used to tell people just attack fear. That's how you get over it. Because I'm more in the Grant Cardone of commit first, figure it out later, right? Because I'm not so certainty driven on that, right? Like my basement and my investment property was bringing in water. I started digging out stuff right away, attacking it, and then I got the knowledge. I got people to quote, right? I probably would save a lot of time in life if I got the knowledge first and realized, oh, I really didn't have to dig here. This is actually okay. It's sediment. So, but I was fearful.
That's a really good trait to have too, though. I'm very analytical, so I like to analyze situations so I can find out what the best solution is. There are times when you don't have time to analyze,
Well, right now too, with the whole coronavirus, which is the biggest thing, and we'll maybe tag this how to get over fear, because that was huge, dude. With the knowledge, this is what I'll say, because of the media. Well, let me ask you this too. How do you think the media portrays it?
Obviously, fear sells. Like I was just explaining it before. Listen, they want you to keep tuning in to their station, right? They want you to go, oh my God, what's going on? Let me turn on ABC. Let me turn on CNN, Fox News, all those things. Let me turn it on because I want to find out what's going on. So just like marketing is with a hook, this is the greatest hook because it is, oh my God, what is going to happen? Find out more at 5 o'clock. And they're like, oh my God, what's going to happen? We can tune in at 5 o'clock. So they're really capitalizing on that. And unfortunately, it's human nature. We respond really well to fear when we're scared.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
We want to know,
If we did this channel on fear and the top 10 things, the worst things you need to know, probably get more views, people saying, because we do it from an inspiring way, it doesn't get ratings as much, So you almost can't blame the news media for doing that money-wise, because at the end of the day, it comes to the money and the ratings for everything. Right. I don't blame them for doing it, but what I will do for everybody, if you just want to be informed and not really panic, because I do believe if you watch that, you'll be possessed with it. You'll have more fear and think about more things that you didn't have to think about. I'm going to link in below the top 10 resources, that Michael guy, everything. I'm going to link those below so you can do the research yourself, get to the knowledge. You can do the facts. It's a really bad virus. People are dying. There's going to be a lot of people who are going to die, a ton of people. They say I think it's a third of the population is going to get affected of it. All right. So this is a world pandemic. There's a reason for it. But with that, you were born, and said, this is me inspiring. You were born for such a time as this. I believe I was here for this, If the Lord really put me on this earth to do all the entrepreneur journeys, I'm so strong mentally, thanks to you, thanks to Grant Cardone, thanks to a lot of the courses, the 7K coaching, everything that I invested in myself right in between here. This is right. And now I know how to make money. I'm an entrepreneur. I can actually make money. I have good confidence in that. So now I want to teach as many people how to do it. And then even if you make a little money and don't have all that attack fear that I have, you can still be smarter with your money and still save your way to success,
Yes, I agree. Yeah. I don't know, man. It's crazy. Let me ask you this. When do you think this is, obviously we don't know for certain, but when do you think this is all going to pass? Some people say a couple of weeks. Some people say a couple of months. What's your take on it? What do you think?
So if you look at like Italy and all those places, and it's funny because I talked to a guy just now, I opt into everything. So Ahmad's texting me, just so you guys know, Bread Earners, the software that I'm trying to launch, and Ahmad's going to maybe watch this later. So hi, Ahmad, if he is. That's my business partner. Great kid, by the way. Great heart. London accent. You guys will see him in the Chronicles, but he's saying, hey, we need to download these apps because they make people money, right? So I'm doing research right now. I took a break from the day to give a little bit back to you guys. But I basically think he's like, we got to capitalize on everybody's home. We can make them those money when we're home because our software will make money when they're home. It's not, it sounds a lot simpler than it is. You got to opt into offers for it. I did. And I got a guy from Utah who called me, and the guy from Utah goes, man, do you know anybody who's sick of this? Because I've been asking everybody on my cold calling all day. He sells credit repair. And he's like, and nobody I know. So he thinks it's all a hoax. Like even the Italy videos are made up and all that. He's kind of in that theory, right?
Right.
I don't think, but I know what he's saying because nobody I know, and I know a lot of people, is really sick from it. Now, I don't know too many old people. I've read some stories. I kind of want to know it just because like I feel like it's better. But I literally think, it'll last at least 6 months. I think it's going to be a real long time. I think it's going to be a lot longer than anybody realizes. And I think it's better to plan for it that way. I don't think it's going to be 2 weeks. I don't think it's April 15th. I don't think schools are going to come back for a year. I wish I had a few things like my education system that I want to pitch. I wish I had that because I think you pitch it into homes a lot better with courses, the way I want Mr. Beast involved and certain things that I want to do. But I'm here now, so I'm going to do the most I can do now. And I will say, working on my software, getting my daily YouTube videos out, I've actually produced a lot more in this thing. So I'm using the most with this time, and I'm teaching people the most with this time. Because I remember when I was trying to figure out what I want to do with my life after Jay passed away, and it was really just going home and being true to myself and writing down stuff and being true and analyzing that, right? And I almost wish I found me or you or somebody sooner who could actually help guide me to that, because I think it would have been easier. I wound up investing $7K in a YouTube coach, Clark, who was still good, but now I owe Joe $7K because Joe's taught me a lot more in business. And that's really what I wanted to learn, was the business aspect, you know? So I think it's going to be 6 months. And I don't really want to put this out there too much, but I do think I'm a Jesus guy. I think and it's just conspiracy, if they're putting forced vaccines like they're supposedly doing in Denmark, of putting chips in your hand, not to put any fear in anybody, I'm a Jesus guy. I feel like that leads in the mark of beast and Antichrist, and I think we might be out of here soon, you know?
Right. Yeah. I mean, this is
like the way this went happened fast. It wouldn't surprise me if September, like you see a million people, that Revshare thing people talk about, that people go crazy. If that happened, this surprised me. So now that wouldn't surprise me. You know what I mean? I want to be on this, calling it, you know?
This is the perfect opportunity for the government to take advantage of a fearful generation, you know, and that's
that vaccine in a heartbeat, man. Like, oh no, microchip me up. I don't care. I'm a YouTuber. I want you to follow me everywhere, you know?
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, it's quite an interesting time we're living in. You know, I go to work. I'm considered an essential employee, and I go to work, and you know, it's pretty interesting. Like, you see very little cars on the road, you know, in the morning or at night. You know, normally when I would leave, I wouldn't see, which I never noticed, but I never saw cars in the driveway. But as I'm driving to work at 7 in the morning, 8 in the morning, I'm like, look at this. Everybody's in their driveway. Nobody's at work, you know? So which is good news. People are doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're staying home, you know? And, but it's definitely different. There's an eerie feeling about just everybody. And that's one of the things I noticed at my job too as well. There's an eerie feeling going around because people are uncertain, you know? It's weird. It's almost like a glimpse of the apocalypse. So people are very, very uncertain, and they're very weird. They feel very weird. So I think it's hard for, you know, somebody like, you know, anybody actually at this point, for them to feel actually confident or a sense of certainty when it comes to certain things. And I know it's tough for me. It's tougher than it's ever been for me, you know, being a leader in my organization, to be like, hey, everything's going to be okay. Because I don't know if everything's going to be okay, you know? So it's that concept of trying to adapt and change. And, you know, there's that saying that leaders are wheelers and dealers of hope. And you got to be able to provide some sort of hope to your people that we will get through this, we'll get out stronger, and we will learn from our lessons. That, you know, basically, one thing I'm talking about in my video is, if history repeats itself, what history are we creating right now? Because what we are creating right now will eventually become history. So how do we want to replicate this situation? How are we creating it to be better? So however we fix this, is how we'll look back on this 100 years from now and say, that's how we got rid of that coronavirus. Okay, all right, that's how we'll fix this. So what we are setting the stage for the future right now. And that's the time for us to be, to be attacking this with a sense of certainty, with a sense of confidence that we will get through this, and we have to create our future,
And yeah,
so.
I love that, dude. The message I've been seeing, and maybe because I follow a lot more positive people, Jesse Itzler was one of them who says how he orders from a local restaurant like Anthony Jack's and delivered money to people on the front lines, ER workers, right there. He's in California where it's like hugely hit, New York too. I've just seen more people do more positive stuff on how we're going to handle it and get through it. And that's kind of the message I want to leave with everybody today. But the one thing I want to ask you, being at work, do you feel like you're in danger of getting, this is more for maybe my Aunt Nancy, but more for me, I was at work yesterday, and this is what I was going to say. This lady, I was taking phone calls, right, to take out. I never do this. So I'm on the phone all day, which is kind of fun, taking orders. My ear hurt because I was pressing the phone into my ear so hard. Take down the lady's order. She's like, I want to give you my credit card because I don't even want to sign the slip. Do I not? I said, yeah, you got it. Absolutely. But because I wrote it down sloppy. I don't have the best handwriting, right? Signing the genius, by the way. So as I write it down, Alicia, my wonderful manager, shows me how to write it down nicer. But I wrote her credit card number on the back. Well, because she wrote it and put the order, we never put a credit card in. The old lady shows up with a face mask on in the window, and now it's a big thing because she didn't want to give her credit card, and we didn't take the information, and we threw out the sheet, right? And I go to check my pocket. I have all these slips, and Barry's like, why do you have slips in your pocket? It was definitely like, luckily I'm confident in myself and my business, because if I wasn't, I would feel like a wreck, not to mention one of the people who works there who would be like that. But anyway, so I'm like, yeah, it's no big deal. So they go out and apologize to her. So I stand 6 feet away from the car. I go and talk to her, and I go, hey, can I have your it's my fault. I wrote it down. They showed me how. I tell the whole story. Because I told her the story as it is, she actually then went from being mad to understanding, right? It's my first time. I had bad handwriting, right? Was honest with her. So she goes, here, just take my card. So she gives it to me. I don't think she was wearing gloves. No, she was wearing gloves. She gives it to me, right? I take the card. I go slide the card. But then I'm thinking, because she's all that, she's infected, right? So this is like, and I wash my hands a lot and do this stuff too. Swipe the card, boom. She's like, don't even give me the card. Put it back in the car with the thing in the trunk. So I totally did that, right? And I actually like when people take more. Like when people are not worried about it, it kind of makes me like, man, you're not worried about my own well-being,
Right.
So I love it. It was to the extreme. I felt horrible about it, but I felt at risk at that moment. The whole other night I didn't, but that moment I did. Went home, washed my home. Come home, my cat slept on the pillow because I don't close my door here. I come in, I can't breathe. I'm coughing. I'm thinking of the lady. I'm having my regrets in my thing. Man, what could I have done better this last night? So, and then I told the mod, man, I just want to launch the software and help people make money with it and actually have a successful software again. So anyway, I felt at risk last night, but only for a little bit. What about you? Do you feel at risk?
I don't really ever feel at risk. I'm pretty emotionally.
Do you ever encounter any of those type of people?
Yeah, but I like the way I look at it. It's like that's what they're projecting, and what I'm projecting is health, is positivity. You also got to be realistic, but I'm projecting like health. So that's what I feel like I'm feeding into my body every single day. So listen, if I can control my circumstance, I'm going to do as much as I can. There's some things I can't control, but I'm not going to, I'm not going to live in fear. And do you know there's a statistic that we touch our faces at least 2,000 to 3,000 times a day?
Yeah, I've been doing it while I'm on here, and I really shouldn't.
Yeah.
I saw Grant one of his lives, which actually I want to talk about 3 things, and then I actually got to jump on another call.
Actually, I gotta go right now.
I know, so we'll go. I know, sorry, you have plans.
Yes, my beautiful fiance. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I always forget that. Which you saw in the cameo of it, and I'm gonna have more people on, guys, just so you know. So click subscribe, click like. Maybe we'll put this on Josh's channel too. Of people we're gonna interview Comeback Cam, who actually shared me. Let me see if I can show it to you, and then we'll get out of here. Oh, but what about Grant laying off people? What do you think about that, really quick?
It's a necessary evil. It's one of those things. Sometimes you gotta take a couple steps back before you can take a couple steps forward, and that's really like going back to the drawing board and figuring out what you need to do. It happens.
Taking a lot of heat, but I think that the number one rule of business is stay in business. So this is Comeback Cam. I told him you got to get obsessed with something. Just pick one thing. Does he look obsessed?
He does. Yeah. That's awesome.
We're gonna have him coming on soon, talking stocks, which will be good.
Awesome. All right.
Hey, thank you so much for your time. This was good. I'm going to post this up tonight. Today is, what's today? March 27th?
The 28th, I think.
So hopefully, guys, what are you made of? You found out. Hopefully this helped you on some way. Please, Josh, where can they find more of you?
Yeah, just Google Josh Lewis Growth. I will come up. Josh Lewis Growth. Subscribe to the YouTube channel for tips on growth every single week. I've got a motivational video dropping maybe tonight. Depends on how I finish this. This took a little bit much of my time, but it'll definitely, new videos are up every single week, every Tuesday at 8:30 in the morning. New video to change your mindset, help you, motivate you, and help you to grow your life. It's something I'm incredibly passionate about, and I love putting these videos together.
Yeah, and if there's anybody who needs any, people come to me for like money coaching, I believe that. If there's anybody who needs any mindset stuff, you've done so much just even today telling it to me. I'm sure I'll put a link down there. They can book time so they can kind of he can help you get in control.
Absolutely. Yes. Tell them to DM me, find my Instagram, DM me at Josh Lewis Growth. And yes, I have coaching time slots for coaching sessions available because just want to help grow the world to become a better place.
Yeah, and I feel like before you help anybody, it starts with your mind, then your money, and then you help other people, you know?
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
As long as money is important, because right now, man, we would be trading toilet paper how it's at. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gotten better. By the way, Josh, Dad brought some toilet paper down to some special needs kids. It's in the episode of episode 3 of Connecticut Chronicles. I thought that's crazy, you know?
Yeah, good for him. That's awesome.
I know, it's awesome. So anyway, we'll talk about it later. All right, dude. Have fun tonight. I'll see you later. Guys, thank you for watching. I'm going to post this tonight, actually. I'm going to put a little intro on and just post it.
Awesome.
All right. Dude, by the way, iPhone 11 or whatever that is, that camera is amazing, dude.
It is. It's good, man.
Just, you guys know, anybody like, oh, I want to start a YouTube channel. So you can do this. You can put out positivity.
Do it with your phone, man. Start now. You have no idea how powerful.
I'm doing it with my Mac from, I'd link them up, but I don't even know who they are anymore. Evolve Computers, the Shetland. To give everybody it. I'm jumping on a call with Denise from Titanium Stadium. They're talking about business owners. This is how I get so smart. I'm jumping on another call with Todd All, who's a multimillionaire, and they're talking about the business loans that businesses are able to get. I'm going to do a YouTube video about it later on. So if you're a small business, you're struggling, also click this business. I'll help you guys out too.
Awesome. Sounds good, man. All right. I'll talk to you later.
All right. Perfect, man.
All right.
Awesome.